Street course racing may have found an unpredictable / future home in NASCAR. What's up, guys? I am trying something new here. I'm more known for my gaming content when it comes to NASCAR, but I have a burning passion for the sport. I've always wanted to share my opinions, my reactions on it, so I'm just going to try and do a couple race reactions here and see how it goes. And holy shit, was there a lot to talk about from the Chicago street course. Now, heading into this weekend, there was a lot of speculation from diehard fans and new fans if street course racing was something that was, going to kind of fit NASCAR's identity. As practice started for the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, fans started to love what they were seeing. The only thing we got close to what this course was going to drive like was on iRacing. Now, I've had my fair share of experience with the track, and honestly, I didn't mind it one bit on iRacing, but it's a whole different game when it comes to real life compared to the sim. And this track delivered challenges right from the start. You got guys who are some of the best in NASCAR, hitting the tire barriers, spinning out, going all over the place. Chase Elliott, one of the best road course racers known on the circuit right now, hit the wall and killed his car in qualifying, following the eventual winner, Shane Van Gisbergen. Yes, I got it right on the first try. Everything seemed to be going just the way NASCAR wanted it to go until Mother Nature happened. Mother Nature tried to kill NASCAR's party. And when I say party, it was an absolute party in Chicago. There's a few people I follow in the NASCAR industry, and especially content creators, and one guy named Fly Guy, who I love his attitude. He was raised in Chicago. He was showing videos all over Twitter, how hyped it was, showing how many people were there. One of the most packed crowds I have ever seen for an Xfinity race. It was just absolutely incredible to see how many fans came out to see such an historic event for the sport. And now going back to Mother Nature, obviously, Mother Nature decided to really try to test the fate of NASCAR this weekend. I mean, the rain was just absolutely horrendous. It killed the Xfinity race. We were 2 laps away from halfway. And this Xfinity race, was okay. There was some cars that were passing, but it just seemed like if you were the leader, you were able to get such an incredible start, especially on the double foul restarts and everything. Cole Custer was just out and away. It seemed as though Nemechek maybe could have caught him if the run was a bit longer. You had a couple guys passing. I saw Sheldon Creed making a bunch of moves. Kaz Gralla. Shout out to Kaz Gralla, by the way, one of my good friends / co-host of a podcast we used to do. He drove up to 11th. He was having a great day himself. And then unfortunately, rain halted the race 2 laps before the halfway mark, and they said we're going to try it again at 11 a.m. the same day as the Cup race. But wait, there's more. The weather got absolutely worse. There was videos. I saw Noah Gragson posting a video on his Twitter of a tire literally floating in the pit road water of the rain. That's how high the rain was. That's how much rain was on the track. It just seemed like we weren't going to get anything in. Ultimately, NASCAR made one of the toughest decisions it ever made. It actually confirmed that the Xfinity race was over before the halfway mark. Now, I can't say much. I was one of the ones that was disappointed in the decision because growing up my whole life, I always learned that a race isn't official until the halfway point. I didn't see subsection 4, paragraph G, lines 5 through 6 in the NASCAR rulebook because, let's be dead honest, anybody who complained to me on Twitter about that rule, y'all did not know that rule until they literally posted it. You know it. You guys know damn well you didn't know that rule. But it was a tough choice, and who knows, there may be some rules within the actual city of Chicago that didn't allow NASCAR to bring the Xfinity Series either back the next morning or so. You got to understand, Chicago is a very populated city with lots of busy roads. They need those roads back. I'm sure NASCAR got rid of that street course after the Sunday race as soon as they possibly could so Chicago can get back to their normal traffic flow. So there was probably a bunch of rules. NASCAR definitely did not want to do this, I think. They've been doing as much as they can this year to get every race in despite Mother Nature because they know these fans, they can't just go out on a Monday and come back and watch a race. So it was a tough decision, I imagine, on their part. And then going back to the Noah Gragson video and everything with the tire up in the air, it looked like we weren't even going to get a Cup race in. It was looking like the whole weekend was going to be just a crazy disaster. Some luck on our side, and the rain indeed lightened up. We got the green flag around, 5:45, 6 o'clock or so, and man, this race was something crazy right from the start. You got guys like Eric Jones, Keselowski, Eric Almirola, Kevin Harvick getting loose, spinning out left and right. This looked absolutely crazy with the rain tires too. It was so hard to find grip because this isn't an actual road course that NASCAR designed. This is the streets of Chicago. It isn't built like a racetrack. These cars cannot handle the wet conditions like they can on a Watkins Glen or a Sonoma or a Charlotte Roval, for example. I'd say the first stage of the race was pretty solid. Wasn't too much past. A couple cars in the back were making some solid moves or so. The top three cars looked to be Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Shane Van Gisbergen. They looked really, really good. Denny Hamlin got loose, never really could recover his track position for some reason. Not sure if he messed something up with his steering or he just never could catch a break. I thought he was going to be lightning fast during the race. After stage one, things get very, very dicey. With little to no rain on the track started to get drier. This allowed crews and drivers into the slick tires, which you would think is probably the best idea right from the start, but holy crap was there chaos as soon as these guys put the tires on. I can't count the top of my head. I think there was maybe 6 to 7 drivers that hit the wall in the slicks on. If y'all know me personally, one of my favorites for a long time is Chase Elliott, and he hit the wall in like turn 2 after coming off of pit road, and they asked him after the race, were you pushing the car? He said, no, I wasn't pushing it at all. I just had no grip, and they went into the wall. That's what was crazy, was seeing that change from the rain tires to the slick tires. And it started to kind of show who had the most confidence in this car when it came to the slick tires. We'll come back to that in just a second. Now, before things get even more crazy, your top 3 cars were still Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Shane Van Gisbergen. They seemed to be the big 3 during this race. Now, a bit later, a caution comes out. I can't remember exactly who it was for. Knowing my guess, it may be correct. It might have been Noah Gragson, but a caution does come out. Now, most of the leaders did not pit, right? But it seemed as though everyone from about 20th on back, most of those guys decided to come in, top off with fuel, and get tires because why not? They got nothing to lose. They may as well try to get some better grip, maybe make some passes on the long run. This is where the hard question of the day, which I think a lot of fans are still talking about, was NASCAR's decision to lower the lap count from 100 to 75 after the pit stops happened. This put drivers like Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Shane in just the worst position possible. Now the guys from 20th on back could make it on fuel. Meanwhile, the leaders could not. That's why the caution was extended to allow the guys who did not pit to come in if they needed to. I feel so bad for Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick and those guys because it put them back where all the chaos was, and it ultimately took away their chances to win this race. Meanwhile, guys like Justin Haley, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, just to name a few of those guys, even Kevin Harvick, they were up in the top 10 with a chance to actually win this race, and no one thought that was going to happen even 30 minutes prior to this caution. Now, as a Chase guy, I was pretty excited about this, but I didn't know if the leaders were going to charge up to the front and everything, and things just got absolutely crazy after the restart. Heading into one of the final corners, it looked as though William Byron and Kevin Harvick got into a little mishap. They spun out, which started what we've all been praying. Well, not really praying. I would say more so we kind of imagined, what if this happened? A full-on traffic block. It actually happened in the race. Everyone was kind of joking around, wondering if it was ever going to happen. Oh, it did. On the biggest show on Sunday afternoon. I counted at least 15, 16, 17 cars blocked. Nowhere to go on the track. NASCAR had to go back to the scoring loops and figure out where everybody was. Now, after this wreck, a certain driver decided to go all out to the finish and go for a win. The one and only Shane Van Gisbergen started driving his ass off to the front. But before Shane, Tyler Reddick was in the best position to win. He just got past, I believe, Joey Logano for 4th, and he was starting to catch Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, and Justin Haley. He had the freshest tires, and Tyler Reddick slammed into the wall. He missed the corner, killed his race. I thought he was going to win the race, and right after that caution, I said this could be Shane's race to win. As the laps were winding down, Justin Haley and Austin Dillon were having a great battle with Chase Elliott just behind them, but slowly but surely, the 91 car was slowly moving his way up. I was really saying in my mind, there's no way someone's going to come in here and win in their first career Cup start, something that hasn't happened in 60 years, let alone on a road course. I couldn't imagine it happening. Shane ultimately gets Justin Haley by pulling a fake maneuver. Even with an overtime, it didn't matter to Shane for yet a historic, Yet, crazy, chaotic weekend for NASCAR. Thankfully, it ended on a positive note. Now that Shane is one and done, he's won in the NASCAR Cup Series. Will he return for more road course racing with Trackhouse? It's hard to say no. I think this guy is going to come back, especially after that performance and everything. Who knows? Maybe in a couple years he may want to go Cup racing. He said he's got a couple years left in the supercars. Maybe he wants to come over and do a full-time Cup Series ride. I would not be opposed to it. Bring the man over. Let's see what he can do on the ovals and everywhere else. Now, like I said, NASCAR cannot control the weather, and they can't really control what Chicago gives them when it comes to rules. Remember, this isn't Chicagoland Speedway. This isn't like 40 minutes away from the city. This is legit in the city of Chicago. I'm pretty sure NASCAR would have loved to come back Monday and finish the Xfinity race or so, or find a time slot, but I think the city just did not allow them to do so. Now, this could have been avoided if maybe they upped the start time a little bit, but thankfully it ended, with Shane and Justin Haley going at it there. It ended on a positive note. Fans seem to have such an incredible time with it too. Saw a bunch of videos on Twitter, people having a great time. Like, it looked like there was, even though the concerts got rained out and everything, which was a huge deal, there were some big artists there. The Chainsmokers were there. I mean, the Chainsmokers. Now, personally, if I'm NASCAR, I personally would give Chicago another year. I would maybe change layout of the track just a little bit, maybe try to add 1 or 2 more passing zones with the layout. That way, it's easier for some of these guys when they get the big runs to go. Overall, my thought process is this. I think Mother Nature absolutely killed all the hype and everything for this historic weekend for the Chicago Street Course. If I'm NASCAR, I wouldn't mind going back for another year, and I don't think the weather's going to affect us 2 years in a row, but take the notes of what went wrong and see if you can improve them. Maybe change the layout a little bit, add a little bit of a challenge. With that, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a question in the comments. Do you think NASCAR should come back to the Chicago Street Course or keep the street course racing, but go to a different city next year? And where would that city be? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see your answers and maybe interact with some of you guys. Hey guys, so much for watching. Stay sloppy, and I'll see you guys next time.